Greetings, salutations, family. It's never a bad time for a surprise guest. Um, but today, I always say you can go anywhere from FAMU. And I wonder when we're looking at the NFL and pro sports like that, is that a truth that we're telling, or is it kind of just a myth? I don't know. But we're gonna start off with the leader of Rattler Boosters in a minute, because you already know what's up and what it's always about to be. Thanks up.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal!
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Does he have it? Yes, he does!
And that might be the knockout punch.
Again, greetings and salutations. Hoping everything is going good for you and yours. Look, special guest, short notice, too. So I was trying to get him the book a little later, and he was like, I can come tonight. I was like, all right. Look, I love that. So with no further ado, and we do have, y'all know we got the booster video. I don't think everybody got that. So, once we once we see Mr. Cowball, we're gonna play that to remind y'all, but we're gonna get y'all ready for the Rattler Booster kickoff. It's coming up. He's gonna tell you about it, where you can get your tickets and everything like that. And with that being said, let's bring him up to the stage.
Okay.
What's up, Mr. Kyle?
Well, hello, Rattler Nation, and thank you for calling and texting me about the 24th. But I agreed. I said no. I can come tonight. I'm short notice.
Absolutely. No, I love it. And for those who haven't been, and it's been a while since I went to the kickoff, probably since I left Tallahassee that I've gone, but it's a good time. It's a long-standing tradition actually for the Rattler Boosters. For those who don't know, but could you tell them just a little bit about what the kickoff is and what takes place there?
Yes, we're going to have we're gonna start off. Well, we actually had the golf tournament, which was last Saturday. We played it at the Park. We had a nice turnout. We made a little money on it, and of course, all of our funds goes to Rattler athletics, goes to FAMU athletics. Every penny dime we could get, it goes to FAMU athletics. So we had our kickoff. Started with our kickoff on Saturday, and our grand finale is going to be on August the 23rd. We're going to begin at 2 o'clock. The MC, which is going to be Deborah Jones, is going to start at 2 o'clock, and we're going to open the doors at 1. We're going to ask everybody to come in at 1. This is an what you call a clear bag policy, and so we want to make sure that everybody bring their clear bags, and they won't get into any hiccups or coming through the door, and they can have their seats and be ready to start at 2 o'clock. And this is going to be at the Al Lawson Center, and again, it's going to start at 2 o'clock, and we're looking for everybody to be there. Now, it's just not going to be long. It's going to be a great celebration. We're going to have our start off with our volleyball team, and this is a SWAC 2024 championship. That team is going to be there. We're first going to start out with our cheerleaders. They're going to be there. They're going to be welcoming everybody into the stage area. Then we're going to have our basketball teams. They're going to be there because you know they begin on November the 3rd. So that's when the men's basketball game is down in Tampa. And after the men's and women's basketball, then we're going to have our indoor track team is going to be there. And of course, we came within, I mean, from maybe to your front door to your back door from winning the indoor track, the outdoor track team last year, which is also was held here in the in Tallahassee. And after that will come what I'm going to call, and I'm stepping out on the limb, the Celebration Champ 2026 football team. That's going to be the final team that's going to come in. So we're going to have a great time. And one of the things about this event is it's one of those things where you'll get a chance to see all of the players. They won't be in any uniforms. They won't have headgears on. All of that, you just get a chance to go up, talk to them, where they're from, what's the major is, how soon they're going to graduate. You're just going to have a great time with the audience and with the teams.
And I love that, Selvin. For those people who haven't been before, though, like what they don't often get to see is that this is a place where you do get to mingle a little bit with the team. Sometimes you get to even see the coaches. And every once in a while, coaches kind of go from table to table and, kiss babies, shake hands, maybe ask for a little bit of coin. But I love that you mentioned the track team. And for those who don't know, the show, I've adopted the track team. That's our baby. But the Rattler Boosters also made a donation to the track team about a month ago. Would you, care to share about that? And, I know we didn't publicize it quite as much, but, we had a little bit on the Rattler Booster Facebook page, but could you just talk about some of the things Rattler Boosters do just to support athletics? And, in this case, I believe the track team was about $2,000 that was given to the track team.
Yes, we continually, not only do we support track, but we support all athletes at Florida Agricultural Mechanical University. We support track. Of course, everybody thinks that football is the main sport and we just support football. But I want to tell you that we currently have 3 waiting rooms on our campus. We have the regular field house where a lot of people come in and train because that's mostly our largest weight room. And then we have one in Gaither, and then we have one down at the Took Center. And we support all 3 of those weight rooms. We have nutrition and we have muscle milk there for the snacks. So we support all of the sports, not only just football, but everything that wears the orange and green. Okay. Yeah, that's the muscle milk that we bought, and believe it or not, that muscle milk has gone up. We bought the last one back in May for the spring and we just got our order filled, and it was over $5,000 this year, almost $5,100. So it went up about $200.
There we go. Sorry. Realized I muted myself. But the results are there. But we're also seeing where the Rattlers are also given to the cooling chamber. That's another endeavor that the Rattlers can continue to support. So, could you kind of talk about that some more? And there we go. Fixed it. Sorry.
Yeah.
What boosters are doing
the cooling chamber. That's a very unique idea. That came from our other working partner, and that's the Eddie Jackson 220 Quarterback Club. We started with Eddie Jackson. It was his original idea. We spent a lot of time calling around the country, finding out about this cooling chamber. And he found this group over in Opelousas, Louisiana, who had this cooling chamber. And he thought that would be just something great, that we could have something like that for our players. We had the first time that we played in the Orange Blossom Classic that year, we had a player, an all-star All Pro, All Star guard that went down on the first series, and we actually had to have a true freshman to come in and finish the game. And this player never really got back. He never really got right for the rest of the season. So the next year, we Eddie went out and found this guy from Opelousas, Alabama, and he thought it was a great idea, and he bought it to us. And we've had that thing now. I think this is our fifth year, I believe it is. And it's a great guy, and the kids call it the BRZ. That's what they call it. The BRZ chamber is what they call it, cooling chamber, and it's been great. We furnished 7,500, and the Eddie Jackson quarterback clubs furnished the other 7,500, and it's been a great collaboration between the two of us. It's a great. The players love it. I guess one of the coach said one of the things that they have is that trying to keep the coaches out of it.
I can definitely understand that in Tallahassee Heat. And, as we continue to kind of look at some of the things Rattler Boosters do, like a lot of times we notice the Rattler Boosters are a little, more of our unsung heroes a lot of times. Y'all, you work and you do things, and we do hear about it at the 220 meetings, but we don't always get the publicity, and we don't always push it as hard as we should. But within that, we're noticing this year, we're looking at doing a little tailgate, some this year, to help raise funds, because all these funds, as you mentioned, do go back. We're talking about the kickoff luncheon. Everything you raise there goes right back to the athletes. Even feeding the athletes there, that comes out of the cost that the Patriots are paying there. But could you kind of speak about, having an event like that, and how that may be able to help promote Rattler Boosters and really push it forward?
Okay, the tailgate is something that one of our individuals came up with. It wasn't my idea, but it was William Humans. William came up with this idea, and we're going to try it this year. If it makes money, it's all great. We'll continue it. If it doesn't make money, and we'll move on to something else. But one of the things that I would say is that every Rattler booster and every board member, everybody that works for their own. We get nothing out of this. Only thing we get out of this is a love of FAMU, and that's all we get out of it.
Yeah, and look, Rattler Boosters definitely deserve some championship rings, even though they do help contribute and pay for those. A lot of times, we don't always talk about everything Rattler Boosters do. The Rattler Boosters have helped contribute to coaches' contracts and things like that. So this is an organization that has tirelessly worked and really worked to rebrand itself, re-image itself, and has proven to be a trustworthy organization, especially under your leadership, Mr. President. I'm gonna mess with you the way our previous poll mark messed with our poll mark. 4 more years. 4 more years.
No, I'm gonna tell you, I had this conversation this morning, matter of fact. But I've been around. This organization had been around for some time, and it was shortly disbanded. And I came on board in 2018. And I've been president of the organization since 2018. And this will be my last year. I don't know when it's going to be, because they're waiting on an election. It tells me that I just can't walk out and leave it like that. But this will be my last year. I didn't. I'd like to say I'm not going to be here for 4 more years. That's for sure. My wife won't let me be there for 4 more years. But I'll always be around to help the FAMU Rattlers. I'm always going to be doing something.
Awesome. And look, I definitely appreciate it. I will tell y'all, Selva never ceases to have time to pick up the phone. If I call or text, I will be very surprised if I don't get a response back normally within a couple minutes, honestly, at the most a couple hours. And it's always something as far as that's positive. And when you shoot some ideas at him, he's receptive. And I think that's a token just to his leadership and his skill set. So, just appreciate yourself. And before we have you head out of here, because I don't want to hold you too long. I don't want wife to get mad at me because she's going to see me at the games and she's going to be looking at me and throwing the fist. But could you remind everyone, how can they get the tickets to be able to come to the luncheon? How can they continue to support Rattler Boosters, and why they should become a member of the Rattler Boosters?
Okay, first of all, you want to support our athletes. The whole purpose of having this organization is support our student athletes. How do you get tickets? You have to go to our website. That's www.famuathletics.com. And on that website, if you want to become a member, there's a slide on there that you hit the member, take you to the membership. You put on there who you were referred by, and there are 4 levels of membership. We're going to start off with $25. That's for a student membership. We're going to go to $100. That's a regular membership. $300 is what we call a Venom membership. $750 is for a life membership. But you don't have to pay the $750 all in 1 year. You have 3 years to pay the $750. Pay $250 a year for 3 years, and boom, you got the life membership. For me, I'm like 75 years old, so I don't know if I'm going to be around for a whole lot of more years. So I probably couldn't get a life membership, although I do have one. But if you're a young Rattler, you want to go ahead and get that life membership. And with that life membership, that money goes into a fund, and you are locked in as a life member for Rattler Boosters for the rest of your life. So if you are a member of any life organization, any organizations where there are life members, I know we got a life member in NAA, and in Kappa we got a life membership, and so most of the people that I talk with already say. I talked to a lady today. She says, "I'm a life member in Delta, and I'm a life member in everything except Kappa. I'm going to be a life member in the Rattler Boosters." So she immediately going to tells me that she's going to send her $250 for this year. So we're looking for her to become a life member as well. So that's the application that's there, and feel free to go in and join. Please feel free to join. We need your support.
Absolutely. And look, it's funny Mr. Carl mentioned that, that was organic. He does not know that what my goals are. Rattler Boosters, FAMU National Alumni Association, Cap Alpha Psi life memberships. So that's completely organic.
Okay.
And I've never said that to him before, but that is before I go, those are my 3 life membership goals right there. Probably in that order, partially because of cost, but also just because that's the order of organizations. As far as I was a Rattler Boost when I was in college, became a National Alumni Association member, and obviously blessed to be in the greatest fraternity on this side of heaven, in my personal opinion. So I'm biased.
There is no other.
Well, Mr. Cobb, any parting words before we play the video and let everybody else know what they need to do?
Yeah, one of the things that's also on that form, if you can't make it to Tallahassee, if you want to contribute to the Rattler Booster Fund, you can go on there, and we'll take $1 if you can afford $1, but we'll take anything that you have that to help us Our goal is we want to raise $100,000 for this fund. This is what we set out to do, and we're doing real good at it. We got about 80 seats to sell, 80 tables to sell. The tables cost $600, $75 each. If you can't come, send us a donation. We'll certainly appreciate it.
Let me see if I can pull that up. And I do see, make sure I got it right. Trying to see on the website here. It is on there. So if you go to giving options, you can see where it's got the pregame up there. And I'll put it up there so everybody can see it. So that way you're not just listening to me. You can see giving options. You can see where the pregame tailgate's already up there. Then the kickoff, fall 25.
Yeah.
It's already up there.
Mm-hmm.
And just scan the QR code if you want to donate, if you want to participate. And you can donate to the event. Again, when you do that, all the funds go directly to FAMU athletics and FAMU athletes and continue the good work of Rattler Boosters.
That's it. You came prepared.
I won't say I was prepared. I'll just say that I knew where to look.
Okay. and that's the other thing. I don't know if many people know, we have an excellent website. It's a great website. Matter of fact, I was looking on there the other day and saw the volleyball schedule. The volleyball schedule is out. And take a look at it. And, like I said, I think Coach Yilmaz, Gokhan Yilmaz is going to be ready. And don't be surprised if, volleyball, we're down in Orlando. We're down in Orlando enjoying the Camping World Stadium, beating Bethune-Cookman. And while the volleyball schedule is going on in other parts of the country. So we'll most of the time this would probably be I guess of the new season being from August until up till the end of the year. This would be our first one of the new season. Then the spring sports will start in 26. So we're going to repeat in volleyball as well.
Oh, look at that! Speaking into existence. And look, they're gonna cost us some more money. That's all that matters. As long as we buy championship rings, we don't mind.
That's right. That's right. And I can say this: we're gonna own swag.
Okay.
I'll tell anybody, we have some of the best coaches that anybody could find and feel in swag. We really, really do. And I say that to everybody. We're going to own swag. Not that we didn't already, but we're going to own it this year.
I'm looking forward to it. I agree. Honestly, there's only one sport I'm kind of questionable about, but I think bowling's going to make a bounce back. I think he gets a whole season. I think that's the only sport where you can kind of be like, we're a little shaky, but every other sport, I think we're going to be competitive. I'm really looking forward to see what Charlie Ward's going to do. Coach Gordon, this is her first year where she's really had her girls that she's recruited. I'm excited to see that. Obviously, football, I think we're going to do great there. So, are you making trips to Atlanta for the Celebration Bowl?
Yes, I'm making trips to Atlanta, and not only that, but I'll be making. We're going to first go up on October the 4th, which is going to be Mississippi Valley. And we're going to take care of Mississippi Valley like they've never been beaten before.
we owe them something.
They stopped our win streak.
Yes, at home.
At home. Right.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Cobb, I appreciate it as always. I'm definitely going to, I'm going to reach back out and, not to let the cat out the bag, even though we've already pretty much told y'all. Y'all already know Pre-game, us in the OG strike zone, we're supposed to be working out a little something in concert with the boosters. So, y'all know it's one FAMU. We may have different shows, but it's not because we disagree. It's just because we came together at different times, and when we can, we always come together for the right time.
Great. Okay, thanks for having me, and hello
Yes,
to
sir.
all my Rattler boosters out there. I know this was a quick surprise. It was a surprise to me up until about 30 minutes ago, so don't feel bad.
Look, I appreciate it, and look,
Okay.
as I told y'all, I know teachers don't get paid over the summer, so give me about a month, and I'll be back fully financial. I will actually, you can thank Zach Ansley. I intend to be one of the subscribing life members because in my lifetime, I've spent more than $750 on Rattler boosters.
Okay. Okay. All right. We're looking forward to it.
All right.
Okay.
I appreciate it, Stelvin.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks.
All right.
Go Rattlers.
Man, look, that was impromptu, y'all. I will be honest. I hit up Mr. Cobb. I was like, hey, you want to come on the 24th? He was like, I'll be at 8:00. I'm like, that can work. So I greatly appreciate it because I'll be honest, if I played a few days ago, I was kind of hunting for content. And look, ask and ye shall receive. So mention the Rattler Boosters kickoff. Look, let's we're gonna pull this up right fast, and I'll make it even larger just so that I'm smaller here, man. Look, $100,000 campaign right here, supporting our athletes, Rattler Booster kickoff and lunch and fundraisers. Save the date. So we need you to connect. We need you to become a member. It would be great if you're a $100 member. That's great, but join at whatever level you can. That's really the big thing because Rattler Boosters do give everything they get back to university. And hasn't mattered who the athletic director was, whether it was Tiffany Dawn Sykes, Angela Suggs, Courtney Gaucher. Rattler Boosters have been there even before that time. So I was a Rattler Booster. I became when Mickey Clayton was still there. So that tells you I've been there for a while. So if you want to go look online, you can find my name in the Stripe magazine. I think it was my daughter was born 2010. So I think 8-9. You look at one of those Stripe magazines online, you can see my name up there. So also round one, St. Clair Moraine, we definitely had a good time. We had Tommy Mitchell on and along with some others, but definitely want to make sure we encourage y'all to check them out. Look, Rattler Volleyball Schedule is out. I meant to leave that up so you can see it. And look, y'all know, there we go. So it's pretty solid. See if we can make this larger so you can actually see the logos. Start off with West Florida. So it's already up. So as Mr. Cobb mentioned, I saw it, but I didn't check it all out. Then Hampton's got a tournament, which that's pretty huge considering East Carolina, Hampton, Maryland, Eastern Shore, some old MEAC rivalries right there. Georgia State tournament. I do know one of their players. And the FAMU Invitational, which that's pretty big. I haven't seen FAMU host an invitational in a little minute. And considering McNeese State, Georgia State, appreciate Georgia State returning the favor, coming down to the Lawson Center. Then the Jacksonville tournament, which depending on, I might see about that JU game. We're gonna see about that. Then into SWAC play, which FAMU has consistently been one of the top 2 or 3 teams, and the season finishes with arguably the 2 best teams in the SWAC, FAMU, Jackson State. So if you are a FAMU supporter, if you are a Rattler lover like I, it's worth it. Like, go check out that team. The best price ever because it's not a revenue producing sport. So they don't normally charge. So, but we took a little time off, but some big pressure was applied. Jada Blake, 5'9" guard. She is from Terry Sanford. Sorry, that school from Fayetteville, North Carolina. Kristen Johnson was another one. that has been offered. So, some good times. And we got a little bit of good trouble. Mentioning good trouble. Good time for a commercial break. We just had the Rattler Boosters, the head of the Rattler Boosters, here on the show. Let's see if we can find that Rattler Boosters commercial and get y'all ready for that.
Get ready to make an impact at FAMU. This is your exclusive invitation to become a 2025 Rattler Booster sponsor. Join us for the Kickoff Luncheon, celebrating volleyball, football, and cross country. Happening on Saturday, August 23rd, 2025 at 2 p.m. at FAMU Alfred Lawson Jr. Multipurpose Center in Tallahassee, Florida. Why sponsor? It's more than just support. It's about visibility, community, and legacy. Build brand recognition, engage with the FAMU family, and uplift student athletes. With sponsorship levels starting at just $500, there's a place for every supporter. From the prestigious Jake Gaither title sponsor to our NAA chapter level, every contribution counts. The Jake Gaither title sponsor at $50,000 includes presenting rights at a football game, VIP lunch with head coach James Colsey III, and exclusive autographed merchandise. Or consider the Rattler sponsor at $20,000 featuring LED ads, lunch with assistant coaches, and a featured company presence. Looking for mid-tier options? The Rudy Hubbard and Strike sponsors offer visibility and recognition starting at $10,000. Our Venom, Fang, and quarterback tiers provide incredible perks, including reserved seating, signed memorabilia, and video features. And for our grassroots supporters, the team and NAA chapter sponsor levels offer a heartfelt way to give back. Ready to support our Rattlers and be part of something legendary? Become a sponsor today and leave a lasting mark on FAMU athletics. Visit our website or contact us to learn more. Rattler Boosters, united in legacy, driven by pride.
All right, y'all. Look, told y'all we make sure we had a commercial. Look, we trying to be official around here. Mission and official offers. Look, I told y'all, I am very excited about this basketball team. I think it's going to take Charlie Ward about a year or two to kind of, much like Coach Gordon said, about getting some of her girls in. Look, Say La La's like one of my favorite family songs, not going to lie. But 6'10", center, okay. He's from Miami. He's 2028 prospect. I don't know if y'all caught OG last night. I got to be on there for a first segment. So go about 30 minutes in, and you got myself and Coach there talking about the track program and whatnot. But look, Charlie Ward, he's doing some damage, and I'm excited for him to come down here to Orlando. They are going to have a tournament here. As Mr. Cobb mentioned, they're also going to be going to Tampa. This is solid, though. Like, when the last time we started getting recruits that are like official and we're offering early? I mean, last coach, yes, but these last two coaches have been somewhat visionary. Another one, 6-foot guard, Yale Davis. He's from South Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina. So we're going to see how that works. I'm kind of excited about that. And we got a commitment. So Jaden Joseph, I believe he's a 2026 prospect. That's solid. Like, FAMU basketball, definitely trying to come up and do some things. And the football team, we did get an offer out there. This was before we kind of took our break, right before the Feely, Justin Chapman. So, and don't forget, these season tickets. Yeah, I know Nayron Jenkins is my favorite football player this year. So I got favorites. Last year was Kendall Bowler for obvious reasons. But this year is Nayron because Nayron is one of the coolest customers out there. Really good dude. I definitely gotta find my Celebration Bowl picture, man. Like, he's a little young Nayron. He ain't gonna recognize himself, man. So, but it's gonna be interesting to see. Now, in regards to the other half of the question, man, is pro sports, can you make it anywhere from FAMU? I would argue yes, but I would also say that we do have to make sure that when we're saying those kind of things that we got to quantify it. Like, it's very easy for me to show you a guy like, Xavier Smith, leading receiver from the first preseason game for the LA Rams. I believe this is what, season 3 that he's had with them. And if you didn't catch, I don't look, your boy he got some high praise, had a big kick return last year, and he's showing a lot of those things that you saw at FAMU, but you even saw at FAMU. Xavier Smith stuck out. You also see Terrell Jennings, Isaiah Land, Marquise Bell, all kind of on the field together or at the same time as far as NFL wise. But we also saw where, players like Kendall Bowler got picked up but didn't make it. You see where, Marcus Riley and some of these other guys, and some of those are due to injury. The question I have is, are we creating – hey, what's up, Dan the Man? Look, that Gator Man 6, that's my guy. That's my dude, Daniel, man. That's my boy. But I do have to ask the question, when we're telling players you can make it anywhere from FAMU, are we only talking about athletics? And sometimes I think we undersell the importance of that FAMU education. Like, we know it and we hear the coaches say it, but sometimes we got to kind of remind our players, hey, when you're coming to FAMU, that degree is what you're here for. We know you want to be a pro athlete. We know you want to go and do great things. But I think we have to make sure that we're being honest with all of our players, because it's not just FAMU. Like, all of us dreamed of being pros. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. When I was a kid, I wanted to go to the NFL. And then I got to high school, I was like, man, these guys, they're good. I don't know if I love football that much, though. And so when we're preparing our athletes, do we have to do things a little differently? Like, because we're saying you can make it anywhere from FAMU. Like, and part of us saying that, we're saying that in any profession. We're not just talking about professional, but when we're seeing our student athletes kind of finish, and you even saw this past year with some of our students who finished their football career, then they didn't get those NFL calls, and they were disappointed, like very disappointed, to the point to where it was kind of like, did FAMU really prepare them? And I would continue, yeah, FAMU definitely prepared you, but it's just, there's only what percentage of us that are going to make it pro as professional athletes. And I think that's one of the things we got to kind of make sure we're being careful of, but we also got to make sure we support. That's part of why you do have Rattler boosters. Like, we're seeing where your Rattler boosters and the Fang Exchange and these different groups stepped up. Like, Rattler boosters are purchasing muscle milk. Why? Because when you look at other schools, you go cross the tracks, you go down I-10 and down I-75. Those players are getting muscle milk. And it's not something where they're getting in limited supply. They have meal plans. Like, I welcome anybody that's a FAMU. I don't care how much you hate Florida State. Y'all know I don't hate Florida State. Go across the track. Go to Doak. I don't know if they still do. They used to have in the stadium a buffet where you could eat like the players ate. It's not cheap. It was like, back then it was like $15, $20. Now it's probably like $25, $30. But you start to see what the players eat. And some of the food is good. Some of the food is sweet potatoes with this. And you're just like, I wouldn't eat this normally. But when you start to see how they feed their athletes and it's a actual program, it makes a difference. I think one of the biggest things for me, and I look at a Xavier Smith, and he's got more definition, but I think Isaiah Land, and I don't have that picture ready, but look at a picture of Isaiah Land at FAMU and look at a picture of him now. That's two different dudes. That's a grown man. Like, at FAM, he was tall. He was kind of lanky. But now he's in the NFL, and I wouldn't want to wrestle with that joker, as the old man said. Like, he's a big dude, and he's gotten more muscular, and he's more defined. And another one's Terrell Jennings. Like, I started to wonder. And thank you, Mike Rodahl. Only 260 getting drafted. And the difference is, especially now, consider, I just know in my lifetime, when I was born, UCF was not putting out NFL talent. UCF was not on the same level as FAMU, FIU, FAU, USF, just within our state. None of these schools were producing football players. Now, we have seen other schools give up programs like JU, but Stetson's pretty much Stetson. But you just look at it. In a 60-year time span, we've seen FAMU go from being the best, maybe second best football program in the state out of 4. Like, I would argue at one point it was FAMU, Miami, UF, Florida State. You can switch the order up. And I remember coming up, it was FAMU as, my favorite. But as the best team, Miami, Florida State, Florida, FAMU. And now you start to interject and inject a UCF in there and FAU and FIU. And all of a sudden, you start looking at schools that FAMU used to compete against. I mean, I was there when FAMU played Troy State in the playoffs at Bragg Stadium. I was at that game. I remember us playing Georgia Southern. These schools have now left us behind. And now you're looking and saying, well, why aren't more of our players getting drafted? Well, it's not like they've really expanded the draft. The draft's been, 7 rounds for how many years? But they've added more college football teams. So you've added more football teams. You had fewer players get drafted. And so I love that what we've seen this week is NFL teams are still coming to visit FAMU. But maybe we have to be a little more rational about what their options are. Like, you probably not going to get drafted. And that's not just from FAMU. But unless you are amazing. And what is it? The first HBCU player that got drafted. Just say he's a noob. He's also my Sands. We crossed together. Carson Vincent, Alabama A&M. I think we had 2 players get drafted. And Carson was not a small dude. I remember when we were going through all our stuff. I think it was Gamify, Alabama A&M. He was like, I want to go to the league. But if I don't, I got a backup plan. But I really want to go to the league. And that was his goal. That was his stated goal. And out of all of the SWAC, he's only one. Not saying he's the only one that was deserving or the only one that was good enough, but he was the only one that stood out. And there we go. Little baby, you got a big point. All that change in leadership and no vision or plan for the future for the university. That's detrimental. Because we saw where when these other schools had plans, go look at UCF. And I know it's not a fair comparison for us because they got 70,000 students. We got 10. But see where they grew from. And we don't have access to Orlando like that. But see where that school grew from to where it is. And just see what they've done with facilities. FIU, FAU. And I think that's huge and it's important. That's why you need leadership. I mean, stability matters. I need to be able to trust the people in leadership. That's just me personally. I need to trust their decisions, what they're doing. Like I told y'all, we have Mr. Cowboy. He literally said, hey, I've been the president since 2018. That's longevity. And that's earned trust. Because let's be honest, there was a minute there where y'all were like, who I'm giving my money to? Now I know I'm giving my money to. We just get to get the numbers back up. I think the football IQ of the majority of HBCU fans, alumni, have no idea of the intricacies. Oh, I love that. That's a $7 word. A D1 Sports. Reynolds HBCU student body demographics for the past 25 years have been 75-25. That's huge. And in general, like you go to most college campuses, it's majority females. Like that's huge. And you take into effect the large amount of minority students that are at these PWIs. Like you go to UCF and some of these other schools, some of these kids couldn't get into FAMU. Like, and it's not like they weren't good students. They just weren't able to get in, wasn't enough space. They got into other schools. I know one young lady I was talking to, not like talking to like that, but casual conversation. So we work skate games. UCF, she's a UCF student, and she's like, I could have went to UCF or I could have went to Howard. And she's talking about her UCF experience, and she's like, I really wish I had gone to Howard or FAMU. And you're seeing that from a lot of our students who go to those schools where they love the experience, they love what they are getting there, but there's something missing. Like, and look, FAU and FIU should not have passed FAMU or BCU, who both had good football programs. I agree. I don't know about BCU though. I can say yes for FAMU. BCU, that's a different monster though, especially with them being a private school. They don't get the support quite like we do. I think they would have had to grow their numbers more. And considering they're by themselves, like I think a lot of us fail to realize within the state of Florida, BCU is not a part of the private school group. Like it's the 3 HBCUs, and then there's everybody else. Like BCU, Edward Waters, Florida Memorial are not a part of the private school consortium that includes Berry, University of Miami, Eckerd, Rollins here in Central Florida. What's that? Florida Tech. They're not a part of that group. So you're literally segregated. So I think when you start to take that into effect, especially with BCU and those schools, they are segregated by themselves. They are not a part of that private school group that includes those schools that they got banked like that. Like in college has been a majority females forever. It was between 8 to 10. Woof. Look, I remember when I was a FAMU boy, that thing was nice. And yes, we do have a private school consortium. I forget what it's called. It's like PCUF. I think it's the Private Colleges and Universities of Florida. Check their website. There's no HBCU on there. And Cookman has been around for how long? Cookman's not a part of that group. So honestly, until Edward Waters and Florida Memorial kind of came up, Cookman was by themselves. And I'm not trying to be like an apologist, but and that's the other part. Leadership has killed them. Like that's a huge thing. So I think when we're talking about the HBCU experience, we got to make sure that we are selling it, but we also got to make sure we're investing back into it. Like I can't sell you that I'm preparing you for the NFL when I'm always saying our facilities are this and their facilities are that. And yeah, you got to do a little bit extra to get there. But I think on the other side is we also have to begin to reinvest in ourselves, support those that support our groups. Like there's a million splinter groups out here. Like, but if you have those 2 or 3 that are genuinely focused on the schools, support those. Like, y'all know we're trying to support the track team. We'll put that up there next week. But today, we need y'all to join the boosters. Like, check Fangs out, Twitter page, YouTube, Instagram. We still support the track team. Any dollars you get gets funneled to the Fang Exchange, and they handle the NIL stuff. We're a conduit. But at the same point, with Rattler Boosters, they're supporting the student athletes, they're supporting the coaches, they're supporting the whole entity. So I think when we're kind of looking at these type of things, can you make it anywhere from FAMU? Yes. Is it going to be more difficult? Yeah. I think we have to be honest about that. Like, you're going to the SEC, Is it going to be easier if you go to the NFL? No. Are you playing on a bigger platform? Absolutely. I think the difference between when we're talking about the SEC, ACC, and the MEAC and the SWAC is facilities. It's facilities. It's nutrition programs. It's all those things that help you get bigger and faster. You just have more access to those things. And it's not that you can't get those things at a FAMU. It's just that your nutrition program ain't gonna be the same. Like, and it sucks to be that honest, but it is what it is. Like, you're not sitting at the quote unquote Bama table. And let's be honest, across the street, they're not sitting at the Bama table. Like, they're gonna get their eyes beat out by Alabama. And I'm not gonna love it. But if we're being honest, they're gonna get smoked. Like, FSU ain't got that. They don't. Like, if it was FAMU, it might as well be FAMU. Bama by 20. Like, their quarterback ain't got that. It's not even, and I'm not trying to be mean. Yeah, I know I'm an FSU fan, but I'm a realist. And I think when we're telling people and we're showing them these athletes that are now in the NFL and other professional sports, because they have professional volleyball now, we got to get some of our players there, but we also got them to come back. And we have to get them to come back and tell their story, but then come back and engage us alumni. We need the Xavier Smiths, the Marquise Bells, the Isaiah Lands, the Terrell Jennings to come back. And at the homecoming, any other home games you come to, if the boosters are having their tent, go to the booster tailgate and tell us what the boosters meant to you. Go to the Fangs exchange and say what you wish it would have been. Go to the NAA and talk about those things, because then it makes us want to give back. For me, I've always wanted to be a booster. I grew up in it. My mom was a booster. My mom and Coralie, they were selling the tags and bringing the money back to the Rattler boosters. Like, y'all look, some of y'all Rattler boosters was like, oh, really? Yeah. My parents still got the metal FAMU tags at the house, Rattler booster tags. Like, folded plastic ones, the Rattler boosters had metal tags. Pretty much went door to door selling. And I ain't gonna lie, I used to go to the Rattler booster office. Hey, Mickey, I'm parking my car here. I got my booster tag. I need to go to class. Don't tell me, because I got to get to class. And that's honestly, if I had a class over there, he looked out for me. But we have to make sure that we're selling our programs, we're building our programs, and we're building our facilities. If FSU's got an indoor practice facility, it'd be nice if we could get one. It's on the strategic plan, but it'd be really nice if we could kind of get some of our other stuff there too. So, my second half of the question for the day was, can you make it anywhere from FAMU? Absolutely. You have corporate presidents. You look at a guy like Bishop Bonnet. Bishop Bonnet literally sacrificed football and has a great career in construction stuff. So you can make it anywhere from FAMU. But when we're talking about professional sports, it's going to be a little more difficult. And we're going to be honest about that. But if you do make it out of FAMU, the appreciation you get, it hit a little different. We don't, in our HBCU spaces, we don't throw you away like the other schools do. I may joke and chide about some of these players, but it's not the same. It's not the same vitriol when you transfer and when you leave. We're not like that. You go to some of these other schools, second that kid transfers, they disown them. Our kids transfer and we're like, hey, man, it is what it is. You made the best choice for you. We may not love it, but it's a different love. Part of it is the Black experience, but also part of it is also understanding that part of making it anywhere from FAMU sometimes means leaving FAMU. And it sucks, but even in our graduate feeder programs, you look at it, they try to feed you to PhD programs where you got your undergrad from FAMU, but your PhD They used to feed us in history to Memphis. Go to the University of Memphis. They would try. That's what you're supposed to do. You got to leave mama so that you can come home with something to show that you had something. Let's see what we got. There are more jobs around the professional sports that can be looked into. Teams need doctors, people in front office. I agree. I think if HBCUs truly want to take that next step into getting to a place where we can get our players up front, the thing we need to do is we got to get our students into some of those rooms, get them into those internships. I know for one, I love when I see Taylor. If y'all don't know Taylor Adams, man, I've known Taylor since she was in high school. I know her family. I know her dad since I was a kid. But seeing her on Good Morning America and everything else is a difference because she's not just FAMU or she's not just a FAMU student. There's a different connection. FAMU just creates a different vibe, and it's something that's unique to HBCUs because our band director at my school, he went to Cookman. Man, I call him right now. That's my boy. We ain't gonna argue, but for one time of the year and over one thing. Everything else is HBCU love, and we want to see the best for our schools. And I think if we continue to want the best for our schools, we got to be honest and be honest with our student athletes and say, hey, if you come to FAMU, you come to get education. You might go pro. You work your butt off. You get what you deserve. But make sure you come here and you leave with that paper. That's what you came for, because the odds aren't good if you're at FAMU and if you're not at FAMU or going pro. But the odds of having that degree and walk across that stage, hey, I'm going to tell y'all right now, that paper that say Florida A&M University, it opens some doors and it still holds some weight. Let's see. Problem they have it, the HBCU Legacy Game. Does the NFL job fair? They do. Yeah, they do. The program. They have NFL job fair. And let's see. We have one of the top sports management programs. There we go. We definitely need to be marketing that when we're talking about athletics. Exactly. And I think the other part when we're talking about that, and I ain't gonna hold you off too much longer, we gotta get y'all up out of here. We also have law school. Like, no matter what you feel about the presidential situation, most agents need to have some type of legal experience. You got a law school, you got a sports and marketing program. I'm just saying, FAMU is a great option. And for those that want to stick with athletes, FAMU's producing some coaches. Like, you look at these last couple years, look what Willie Simmons took with him. He took TJ Demas with him. Look at some of our former athletes. Savion. He's up there. He's coaching. Like, even Kelvin Dean already coaching. So EA says, when you have the head of Nike North America alum, hello, Microsoft head alum, C&M Coke, and can't get corporate sponsors, tells the thought process. If I was Coke, I ain't sponsoring FAMU. You're a Pepsi school. Like, I'm sorry. I hate to say that. Like, but it is what it is. Like, one of our line brothers, he worked for Pepsi. We go places. We don't drink Coke. Like, I don't care if you are my school. I got to support them who support me and my lifestyle. FAMU should go back to being a Coke school, if you ask me. But we do have relationships with CNN and some of these other companies. But I think some of that goes back to, if you truly want those deals with Coke and whatnot, you got to make sure that Coke is the company that's supplying your sodas at the Bragg Stadium. So, but, a little bit of something. All right, y'all. Y'all got to go to work, and I got to get out of trouble with the wife. So, I'll stay out of trouble with the wife. Sunday, Cheryl Thomas, 3PG, coming on here, talk about what he's seen in practice. He might not tell you what the quarterback situation is. I ain't gonna look. You can ask all you want to, but we're gonna have Gerald on, have him talking a little bit about, you know, upcoming season, how you feel about it. Look, and you know, we always have some good fun with Gerald, man. That's my boy. So look, for everybody here at HBCU Digital, thank you, Selvin Cobb. Thank you for everybody, Rattler Boosters. If you haven't already got your tickets, go on to the Rattler Booster website, rattlerboosters.com. Get your tickets or sponsor. If you can't make it, shoot them a 20, shoot them a 10, shoot them a 5. Whatever you can give, we'll greatly appreciate it. And look, if you like me, we got to make sure that we get our memberships back going, man. So, and we'll just have NFL and revenue sharing, getting students prepared to be agents and lawyers. These students should also be taught, hey, there we go. Come on here, market yourself. All right, y'all. For everybody here at HBCU Digital Network, man, y'all already know what it's always going to be. Fangs up.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal.
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Dorsey